You're with the Breaker-Leggers,
and we are south of the River Thames at the Globe Theatre
to see a new production of Much Ado About Nothing.
So stay tuned to find out how many legs,
whether it's break a leg
or leg it. Before you go any further,
to make sure you've always got your finger on the theatrical pulse
for theatre news, reviews and interviews,
hit subscribe now.
So Much Ado About Nothing. What do we know about this particular production at the Globe?
Well,
Much Ado About Nothing here at the Globe Theatre in London. What do we know about this?
Well, this production is actually set in the Mexican Revolution and the arms race of 1914. So it's fairly contemporary by Shakespearean standards and also has warnings of gunshots and explosions, so that'll shake things up a bit. It's been directed by Matthew Dunster, and Matthew also directed Imogen, which we saw here about a year or so ago now.
It was, yeah.
And that was pretty contemporary, pretty revolutionary, so hopefully he's going to bring a whole new spin onto this classic Elizabethan play.
A bit of Shakespeare out of the Globe. We're going to be standing in the standing space.
Yeah.
So hopefully the weather is going to be on our side. How long is the production?
So the piece lasts for 3 hours. They're usually quite long, Shakespeare, and also has a 20-minute interval included within that running time. It's just a pleasure to be in such an iconic building, an actual recreation of the theatre that would have housed Shakespeare's plays in the Elizabethan period. So as an experience, it's going to be one of those.
Yeah, it's very heavily tourist orientated, so this is going to be what it's like. So I guess we'll catch you at the interval. We've come to the interval of Much Ado About Nothing here at the Globe, which means it is time for the Breaker-Leggers 30-second interval breakdown. Go!
What do you think so far?
I think it's so good, really strong characters presented in a really good environment, good use of instruments, music, dance, colour, carnival, strong characters, tremendously well acted. I think I've said it all. What are you going to say?
Yeah, absolutely love it so far. If you're going to tell a story like this, this is how to do it. Production is fantastic, performances are strong. I can't wait to get into second act, and the time is flying by.
It's been like an hour and a half and it doesn't seem as if 10 minutes has gone past. We have come to the end of Much Ado About Nothing here at the Globe Theatre. So what did you make of that?
Possibly the best interpretation of a Shakespeare comedy I've ever seen. How about you?
Yes, I absolutely loved it. I've got to say it's quite a big ask of an audience to have them standing on their feet for nearly 3 hours on, it's not the warmest of afternoons, warmest of Sundays. However, I was totally enthralled, encapulated. Encapulated? Is that Capulet?
That's an amazing
A nod
word.
to Romeo and Juliet there.
I don't know what that is, but wow.
It's a new word, look it up.
Great.
But it was absolutely fantastic. I absolutely loved it. We've seen Imogen here before,
yes.
So I guess this is our second outing to the Globe, and I think what is very clear is their use and amalgamation of music, instruments, dance, singing coming out into the audience participation in a way. It's so engaging for an audience member. It's just brilliant.
Yeah, Matthew Dunster has done an unbelievably good job when it comes to, you know, staging an Elizabethan play in a modern setting, making it engaging and asking an audience to be totally on board for 3 hours. Every single member of that audience was totally in rapture by the end of it, and I'm just bowled over by his ability. He directed Hangmen, which we absolutely loved, a couple of years ago now, and he also did Imogen here that we mentioned that we saw, which was also compelling. So great things from him. You may know the current artistic director of the Globe, Emma Rice, was unceremoniously fired from her role, asked to step down at the end of this season. So this piece is actually seeing her season out, and I grieve for her loss. I think that she has brought an energy to this place and enticed audiences in that wouldn't typically take a risk on a show like this. I know that the Globe has been here a long time, and it's been totally under our radar until Emma Wright came along and shook things up at Artistic Director. We'll leave a link below to a bit of news about what happened with her, but Emma, I speak as a, not a stalwart of the theatre of the Globe, and not a kind of, a die-hard fan, but I'm going to miss you, Emma. I really am.
Yeah, I'd say, well, I guess we'll have to wait and see what the new artistic director brings, but this production was absolutely fantastic. In terms of Imogen, it was updated, it was modern, it was hip, it was cool, and although this was kind of set in the, was it Mexican backdrop of 1914?
Yes, exactly.
There was some really modern references, it was all updated, some really funny scenes. It just moved so well. Some really strong performances. Any performances that stood out for you?
I would say Beatrice Romilly as Beatrice.
Yeah, Beatrice. Beatrice playing Beatrice.
Strong, very
phenomenal.
Strong. Her delivery and her technique were fantastic. She was, she was giving it some welly. She really was, and I believed her. Absolutely believable. Also in the role of Hero.
Hero first. Yeah.
Anya Chalotra.
Hopefully we're saying that right.
And hopefully we'll see her again. She's fresh out of Guildhall.
Fantastic vocals in terms of when she was singing.
Sang a lot and she was beautiful.
Brilliant acting. The second act really changes in its tone from almost like a comedy seduction farce in a way to a real heavy tragedy full of woe, and she played that beautifully, being played off as someone, what is it kind of being, it's not she's a villain, she's been called out for her honour, I think, and almost dying inside, and that betrayal of love was played beautifully by her.
Absolutely. And also Matthew Needham, he played Benedick. We've seen Matt in Imogen here, keep coming back to that, so clearly they like him here.
Yeah, we also saw him in The Treatment at the Almeida
which
Theatre.
We didn't enjoy at all.
But he was good.
He was fine. I mean, it wasn't his fault the piece was tripe.
But he was fantastic in this.
Took it to another level. I think he would be great on TV.
Maybe he's got TV credits.
Maybe
if he hasn't,
I'm
sure they're coming.
He could have a regular role on something, and he's got a lot of range, I think. But particularly in this piece, played comedy like I've never seen him play before, and I was totally impressed.
Yeah, I'm going to say Benedick and Beatrice, and when they came together at the end, they had the audience a massive round of applause and
eating
cheers,
out the palm of their hand.
which just goes to show how good a job the director and the cast have done to bring this story to life. The audience was with them all the way.
So I bet you're wondering how many legs we are going to give it. What did we say?
Much ado about nothing.
Much ado about nothing.
For this piece, we are going to give 5, an absolute 5 legs for this piece.
It's definitely the most compelling Shakespeare comedy I've ever seen staged, but possibly the best Shakespeare I've ever seen staged.
Really enjoyable. It really does drag you from comedy to tragedy, seduction, deceit, jubilation, the lot beautifully written and beautifully performed.
Yes, I would say if you are on the fence about Shakespeare, which I know a lot of you will be, there's a lot of people that are put off by the kind of sticky Elizabethan text of it all, and they delivered at schools and it being not a pleasure. Please take a chance. I would say come to the Globe, see something. Guys, the standing seats are a £5.
£5.
What can you do in London for a £5?
It's a win-win.
It is a win-win. It's a very little gamble, and it could well pay off like this one did. That's what we thought.
Tell us what you think.
Yeah, leave us a comment, like, subscribe. We're the Breaker Leggers, and we'll catch you
again soon. Bye.